Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Well everyone, it's my 500th episode, and before we get started, let's do a little recap of my past episodes that reached the hundreds. Number 100, The Iron Giant during Season 3. Episode 200, Tarzan during Season 5. Episode 300, The Thief and the Cobbler during Season 6. And Episode 400, The Haunted Mansion during Season 7. So, what do I have in mind this time? Well, for those who don't know, the reason why I'm called the Mustang Prince is not only because I was born the year of the horse, or because I went to a very special high school where Mustangs were the mascot, but because I have a huge fascination with horses. And throughout this blog series, I've looked at several different movies that are mainly centered on or featuring horse characters. For example, there was The Last Unicorn, the two Unico movies, Disney's A Cowboy Needs a Horse, My Little Pony the movie from 2017 and 1986, the Equestria Girls movies, DreamWorks Spirit's Stallion of the Cimarron, or even a few episodes and specials from Sophia the First. Speaking of which, aside from Princess Sophia, I know about another princess who can talk to horses, and she's the subject of today's blog. So, released to DVD and digital in the United States on October 15th, 2019, the movie is Princess Emmy. Now, on for the plot of the movie. Princess Emmy is a young girl with a very special gift. She's the only one in the kingdom of Candace who can speak to horses. Up until now, life for Emmy has been wonderful, exploring and hanging out with her best friends, a stable full of amazing horses, and spending time with her family at the castle, and not having a care in the world. That is, until her jealous, scheming cousin Gazana appears, challenging her at every turn, threatening Emmy's chances of becoming an official, inaugurated princess, and generally making her life a living Tartarus. And on top of that, Emmy must undergo the ultimate test to earn the right to keep her gift. If she fails, she loses the gift and her best friends forever. So, what do I personally think of this movie? Well, in my personal opinion, this movie was pretty good. But to further explain why, let's move on to Mustang Notes. Now, this film is based on the best-selling children's book series, Princess Emmy and Her Horses. And while I haven't read them yet, I think after watching this movie, I may want to check them out. Also, the movie was animated in Germany at Studio 100, along with Red Kite Animation. As for the animation, well, in my eyes, these two studios look like they have great potential while making decent movies that appeal to both families and children. I mean, the folks at Studio 100 are the same people who produced Maya the Bee. So, I can definitely see great promise in them. Plus, I think this style of 2D animation looks really gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of the Toon Boom Harmony animation from My Little Pony the movie. And I think the kingdom of Candace looks like an enchanting but modern-styled kingdom. The royal palace looks like a grand estate, and the ruins of Carlotta's tower is really mysterious, especially with all the horse statues everywhere. As for the story, well, it was okay. I mean, yeah, it's a decent coming-of-age film, and I kind of like that it partly focuses on the relationship and rivalry between cousins, and I like when Emmy interacts with the royal horses and rides with them. However, the etiquette lesson scenes are the parts that I don't really like too much, due to the instructors being pompous and strict. Anyway, that's all I got for Mustang notes, so let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought it to life. Our main protagonist, Princess Emmy, is voiced by Ruby Barnhill, whom I've talked about in my blogs of the BFG and Marrying the Witch's Flower. I really like Emmy for her spunky and determined personality, and I think her gift to talk to horses makes her a lucky and special princess. Plus, I think Ruby Barnhill's voice acting is really adorable. By the way, the reason why Emmy has the ability to talk to horses is because years ago, Emmy's ancestor, Carlotta, saved a herd of horses from plunging over a cliff. And after her first conversation with them, Carlotta wrote a magical book, which passes the gift down to many generations. But if the book ever got lost, then the gift will be lost too. Emmy's cousin Gazana is voiced by Bella Ramsey, best known from the hit TV series Game of Thrones and the Worst Witch series. Mostly throughout this movie, Gazana comes off as a jealous brat by always competing and butting heads with Emmy. And, in my opinion, I didn't like the parts where Gazana tears up Emmy's stuffed horse, when she takes Emmy's bedroom, or when she steals Carlotta's book. However, after Emmy saves Gazana from falling off a stone bridge, that's when Gazana gains a change of heart and becomes a better person. Also, while most of Emmy's family are completely unaware of her gift to talk to horses, Gazana is not the only person who knows about it. Emmy's best friend David knows about her gift too. Next we have Emmy's parents, King Carl and Queen Carla, voiced by John Hannah and Franca Potent. I find them to be very supportive parents, and throughout this movie, they're excited and thrilled that their daughter and their niece will be attending the Princess Day Ball and make their debut in society. We also have Emmy's brother, Prince Moritz, voiced by Ewan Mitchell. While he's not in too much of the movie, I think Moritz is kind of immature and irresponsible, especially when he leaves his skateboard in the middle of the palace hallways. Hence why Emmy got a sprained ankle and had to get a smelly ointment in one scene. Yeesh. Next is Vincenzo Massimo Sermonata, voiced by Stephen McNichol. Despite the fact that this character is Italian, he's the only character who I hate the most in this movie. I mean, he's pompous, strict, and traditional, and sometimes he waves his arms around like an octopus on angel dust. Plus, he forces Emmy to sleep in the attic while Gazana is staying in her bedroom. He confiscates Carlotta's book, forces Emmy to clean up the mess that her horses unintentionally made without help, and he even forbids Emmy from seeing her horses until her lessons are complete. Also, Mr. Vincenzo threatens to revoke Emmy and Gazana's invitation to the Princess Day Ball if they don't prove themselves worthy. But at least he does change his mind after trying the king's muffins. Next up is Emmy's horse, Caesar, voiced by Joel Fry. He, along with the other horses like Xander, Daphne, Donnie, Marie, Paul, Rose, and Valentine, are my favorite characters in the film due to their friendship with Emmy. And I like the part where they search throughout the entire castle to get Carlotta's book back from Vincenzo, and when they surprise Emmy in the attic. Oh yeah, almost forgot about him. This is Gregorius, the castle ghost, voiced by Tim McInerney, whom I remember as Alonzo from Disney's live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians. In my opinion, while he's not 100% necessary to the story, though he is mentioned by the castle housekeeper, Fianola, I think he's quite mischievous, but also supportive while rooting for Emmy. And now for my final words. Overall, Princess Emmy is a pretty good family movie. While mostly aimed towards children, it makes a decent and enchanting story, and a good coming-of-age film at that. The animation is beautiful, the characters are memorable, while one is mostly a jealous brat, and another is a traditional and pompous douchebag, and the voice acting is still pretty good, though. So, if you folks have not seen this movie yet, then be sure to check it out, and share it with your children. I give this movie an 89% out of 100. Yeah, there were a few nitpicks, but the film was still worth it in the end. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to... Oh? Why is that? Huh? Princess of Deck cordially invites you to the wedding of Princess Mei Li and Chen, but that could only mean... Folks, be sure to join me for my next blog. Here's to 500 episodes, and hopefully another 100 to come. Mustang power.